Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, depending on where you're connecting from. Welcome to yet another exclusive Citrix Ready technical webinar where we showcase how Citrix and our partners like Fujitsu here with us today have integrated to deliver valuable products and solutions to common problems faced by our customers. Today we'll be talking to our Citrix Ready partner Fujitsu and see how their product Server View Resource Orchestrator provides active defense for Citrix VDI environments. I'm Anil Kumar, your host today, and I'm a part of the Citrix Ready technical marketing team leading the network ecosystem. I have about 9 years of experience in total, and I've been with Citrix for a little over 2 years now. Prior to Citrix, I also worked with Fujitsu India for a couple of years, and I'm really proud to moderate this webinar for Fujitsu here with us today. It's an exciting company, exciting products, and a great partnership with us. Enough about me. Along with me today, we have Chris Parker and Jeff Cathy from Fujitsu here with us today. Hey, Chris, Jeff. Welcome to the technical webinar series. Could you talk a little bit about yourselves, please?
Sure. Thanks, Anil. As Anil said, this is Chris Parker. I'm a business development executive with Fujitsu. I've been with Fujitsu for about 10 years, usually in the software arena, and I recently moved to a group called the Global Software Center. And our charter is to promote and sell Fujitsu software solutions throughout the United States. And we're happy to bring to you today this new Citrix Ready software solution about automated quarantining.
Thanks, Chris. Hey, Jeff, welcome to the webinar. Could you introduce a bit about yourself, please?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Anil. Good day, everyone. My name is Jeff Cathy, and I'm a pre-sales engineer with Fujitsu and working with Chris Parker. And I've been with Fujitsu for around 28 years. Have a fairly long history doing software development and now software product support. So thanks for joining today.
Pleasure to have you here, Jeff. Thank you. Moving on to introduce a bit about Citrix Ready. Chris, could we go to the next slide, please?
Yep. Can you see it now?
Yes. Not yet, actually. Sorry. I'm still seeing the.
Oh. That should be on the Citrix Ready slide at the moment.
Right. Right. I can see it now. Thank you. Right. So to introduce a little bit about Citrix Ready for anyone new who has joined in here today. Citrix Ready is an technology partner program where we showcase and recommend third-party product solutions and services that we validate and demonstrate compatibility with Citrix's products. This really helps our common customers to quickly and easily find solutions which is recommended by Citrix, and all the Citrix products are published in Citrix Ready Marketplace, and that's hosted at the below link, citrixready.citrix.com. And if you're interested to learn more about our program, on how to join and what are the benefits which we offer, you could visit citrix.com/partner programs /Citrix Ready, and you should be able to get all the information possible. Again, we are very proud to have Fujitsu here with us today, and to know more about their exciting new Citrix Ready product and how it helps securing Citrix VDI environments. So without any further ado, let me hand it over to our speakers today, Chris and Jeff. Just one housekeeping item to keep in mind. If you have any questions during the webinar, please use the questions panel to your right in the GoToMeeting control panel, and we will address all your questions at the end of the session. All right. So Chris, please take it over. It's all yours.
Thank you everyone for joining again. For those of you who are not familiar with Fujitsu, I wanted to just go through a quick introduction of our company. You can see from the slide, we are the #5 IT services organization in the world, and we are the #1 IT services organization in Japan. We have about 156,000 employees worldwide, managing 121 data centers and 74 service desks globally. We've been a Citrix Ready partner since 2011. We've been a Citrix partner since 1997, providing services around the implementation of Citrix products. In our Citrix Ready partnership, we've been providing servers, scanners, storage, laptop, and even biometric security devices through the Citrix Ready program. This is actually the first release of a Fujitsu software solution within the Citrix Ready program. And that's what we're going to talk to you about today. So I want to talk a little bit about the current scenario and the reality of a computer virus threat to your network. Any virus can spread through your VDI network, causing individual workstation interruptions, suspension of business activities, and even system-wide shutdowns. And this really leads to a loss of resources, not just in time and money to deal with those infected computers, but the people involved and the time it takes for activities to occur to remove a virus from your VDI network. There's potential loss of company information, customer data, information that you don't want leaked or put out into the public, that's private, that's covered by privacy laws. And your antiviral software is really only the first step in preventing that from happening. Antiviral software job is to detect and notify. The action that needs to be taken after the notification has occurred is typically manual. And that's where our solution fits in and tries to automate that process. So in case your network is attacked by a virus, these are some of the questions that need to be asked and some of the things that you look for in a solution that can resolve some of these issues. What are the notification procedures? Who gets notified? How long does it take to get the notification? How do you isolate an affected machine from the network? And how long does it take to remove that infected machine or infected machines from your VDI network? Who are the responsible parties for responding to these notifications? And how long can it take before that infected user can resume their productive work if it's only one PC that's infected or multiple PCs within the network? What happens if this occurs during non-working hours? So you may have people responsible for responding at different times depending on who's available. And finally, how can you reduce the time it takes to run through those response procedures? The faster you can remove a virtual PC that's been infected from the network, the less risk you have. So then as you look at solutions in the market, you come up with these questions. Is there a solution on the market today that is designed to automate all or part of this process? Is there a solution that is low cost and easy for me to implement? Is there a solution that works with my current antiviral software? And finally, is there a solution that works within my Citrix VDI environment so that I don't have to go buy a product and then spend time doing the integration and building components so that it can work within my existing environment? Is there a solution that does that today? The answer to all these questions is yes, and that's what we're here to talk about today. Fujitsu Software Server View Resource Orchestrator. And because that name is a bit of a mouthful, we just call it ROR. So in your current scenario, in your current VDI network, if there is a virus detected, you can see we're outlining the steps here on the right-hand side. Step 1, a notification goes to the person receiving the notification on the network. That person then has to contact either the VDI administrator or the person in charge of the VDI network. They need to place that virtual PC or that infected PC onto a quarantine LAN. That often takes too long. When in a scenario where immediate action is required, when you have large-scale systems, the longer that takes, the more potential there is for a widespread network infection. So early detection is the key. Once you've been notified, delays of removing that PC from the network can cause damage to your whole enterprise system. So what we've been told and what we've talked about is that process from notification to removing the PC from the network takes about 3 hours. Now, I presented this solution at the recent Citrix Synergy conference, and in my discussions with users and VDI administrators, we were told sometimes this process is more like 2 or 3 days. So they thought we were being kind and saying that it only took 3 hours. Imagine having a virus that's been detected but continues to stay on your network for 2 or 3 days and the potential damage that can be done. That's the scenario that we're trying to resolve. So with the introduction of ROR, you now have a solution that automates a lot of those steps. So it works with your antivirus software within your VDI, your Citrix VDI environment to minimize the damage and infection. So you can see from our new chart, the virtual PC has been infected, a notification goes out, it's automatically and immediately removed from the operational network and moved to the quarantine LAN or the quarantine network. So we have built-in coordination between ROR and the Citrix VDI system for that rapid response. So you're receiving those benefits. You're protecting your entire network from virus spread by removing that PC immediately. The notification and monitoring, so you'll be able to track to make sure that you're responding to this as quickly as possible. And you reduce the time and level of effort needed over that manual process. So what used to take hours, or in some cases days, now takes mere seconds. So this whole process from the time a notification has been received that a virus has infected one of the virtual PCs to the time it's moved to the quarantine LAN and removed from the network is about 10 seconds. So let's talk about some of the benefits that you receive from using this automated tool. So the first is security. With a rapid response of the infected machine, right? So you're talking about going from what potentially could be hours or days quarantining a virus down to mere seconds. That prevents the leakage of data, keeps databases from being corrupted. It's important to isolate the infected machine and prevent the spread. And this is where ROR can quarantine infected PCs and create notifications. Added level of security. Second benefit would be protection. So the importance of quarantining antivirus. Again, you're limiting the vulnerability to your system by quickly quarantining a virus, eliminating the spread, and mitigating potential disruption and risk to your existing environment. Protecting the environment from the spread of the virus. Simplicity. So this is a simple deployment. This is an add-on to your existing system. You only need one virtual machine to support the ROR software. So you don't need to go out and buy an additional server, buy additional storage. The infrastructure you have should be adequate for loading the ROR software. No ROR agents are installed on virtual PCs. There are times in other solutions where they actually install agents on each of the virtual machines, each of the VMs, to monitor and try and remove viruses from the network. That is not what ROR does, right? You only need one instance. And it works with your existing XenApp, Zen desktop application. So it works within your existing Citrix VDI environment. No need for additional services or applications. And finally, a reduction. So a workload reduction, a cost reduction, by automating the machine isolation, you're eliminating people from the process to some extent, where they don't need, there's delays from having people receive emails and then actually taking the manual steps to contact the administrator. By eliminating those manual processes, you're reducing time and effort, which obviously will save cost in the long run. So now what we'd like to do is do a short demo. We're going to turn it over to Jeff. We're going to show a demo of how we can do an automated solution and quarantine of the virus-infected computer. So Jeff, let me know when you're ready.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, go ahead and start the video. We got, as Chris said, about a 3-minute video here. So the first thing we're going to do is log into the Fujitsu ServerView Resource Orchestrator environment and show you the current setup. So we're going to log in here as an administrator, and it will show the user interface. And on the left pane, we're going to expand the tree view here, and we're going to look at the orchestration tree. And as you can see, there's the network pool, which are the various networks in this environment. We have the intranet LAN, which is the business LAN, and the quarantine LAN, which is the isolated network that virus-infected PCs would go on. And then we're going to look at one of the XenApp VDI desktops, and as you can see, it's currently on the intranet LAN or business LAN, so it has access to the internet. We're now going to close out of this, and we'll open up the Citrix storefront to log in and access the VDI desktop. So we'll log in here as a user and open up the VDI desktop. So once we have the desktop running here, we're going to go ahead and start a video that's getting a live feed from the internet showing that we have network connectivity. So we start this video playing, and then once we have this going, we're going to go ahead and open a browser window, and we're going to download a virus that will be immediately detected. So we're going to go ahead and execute this to download this virus. As you can see, the antivirus software immediately detects this, and what's going to happen is that's going to be communicated automatically to Resource Orchestrator, and it will begin the steps of removing this VDI desktop from the business LAN. So if we have a look at the video up above here, we can see that the video is going to be interrupted because it no longer has a connection to the network. We can see that connection interrupted. We'll close out of this, and we'll go back to Resource Orchestrator, to the user interface. And as you can see up above, the XenApp VDI desktop has been moved from the business LAN to the quarantine LAN. So Resource Orchestrator has taken the steps automatically to move this XenApp VDI desktop to an isolated, to a quarantined LAN, so that that virus cannot spread any further. So that is the video. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that. So you got to see a video short of the ability of ROR to move automatically after detection of a virus to a quarantine LAN. So quickly just review Some of the benefits provided, right? Security, protection, simplicity, and reduction. So you have the security of the rapid detection and response if an infected machine is uncovered. From a protection standpoint, automated quarantine of the infected PC. So you're isolating that machine, preventing the spread of the virus, protecting the rest of your network. Simplicity, as I mentioned, this deployment is an add-on to your existing system. There's no system modification, there's no integration, there's no additional work that needs to be done once you've installed the software. And finally, reduction. Cost reduction, workload reduction over the manual recovery process that you may have in place today. And finally, there is, for more information, we do have an ebook available on our Citrix Ready Marketplace profile page. So if you go to the Marketplace search, simply type in Fujitsu ROR. You'll bring up all the details. You'll be able to download that ebook, get a more detailed look at the solution. As well, Jeff and myself's contact information is on the screen, and our global marketing email if you want further information on the solution. So at this point, I think we can open it up. Anil, if you can open up the lines in chat, and we'll have a question and answer session.
All right. Thanks very much, Chris and Jeff. We apologize for the technical glitch there. There is definitely some delay in the transition of the slides, but I think we could fix that in the recording. But thanks for the wonderful presentation and the demo, and definitely a lot of very useful information for our attendees today. Let's move on to the question and answer section. We've received a couple of questions. So one question is, so we obviously know the ROR works on Citrix Zen server. Is it also compatible on other hypervisors?
It is. So the currently also available on ESXi, right, from VMware. And coming probably Q1 of next year, Hyper-V will also be available.
Sounds good. So the next question is how is the ROR solution priced?
Yeah, that's a great question. So ROR solution is priced per managed server. So with that, one server of ROR, it comes with a management application, and then it's priced per managed server. So depending on the size of your VDI environment, if you're 1,000 VDI users on one or two servers, then you're looking at 2 licenses of ROR. And this may be an additional question. The average rate, it's about $2,500 per managed server. So depending on your environment, obviously volume discounts and things can also come into effect, but that's sort of the average pricing structure.
Great, thank you. So one more question is, so is this solution limited to only our Zen Desktop VDI, or will this also work with our Zen app with Server OS?
Yeah, so this is Jeff. So yeah, it works with both Zen app and Zen Desktop. And if you're using physical servers for your Zen app environment, Resource Orchestrator supports that also. So in that case, rather than using, for example, virtual switches in your VMware ESXi hypervisor environment, you would have layer 2 switches. And so Resource Orchestrator is going to act similarly there. What's going to happen is it's going to access those layer 2 switches and move those VDI environments by reconfiguring the ports on the layer 2 switch to those different networks.
Sounds great, Jeff. Thank you. So one more question is, so during the demo you did mention that it works with existing antivirus softwares. Do we know do we know any antivirus in particular where it does work with?
Sure. So it works with Trend Micro Office Scan now. That is by far the #1 antiviral software, specifically in the Japanese market. So for the U.S. market, we're also adding support for the Trend Micro Deep Security antivirus application, Semantic Endpoint, and the McAfee Virus Scan Enterprise version. Those will all be available in the first quarter of next year.
Great, and thank you, Chris. Also, I see some of the attendees asking if the webinar recording would be shared. To answer that question, yes, we will share the recording with all the attendees and registrants within a day or two to your registered email addresses. And with that said, we are about to end today's webinar. I want to take a moment to thank Chris and Jeff for making this fantastic presentation and sharing great insights with us. Thanks, Chris and Jeff. And any final thoughts?
Thanks, Anil. I think apologize for the technical difficulties. Hopefully, everyone will have a chance to review that in the recording, and hopefully, you've had some valuable information from the webinar.
Definitely. All right, and last but not the least, I want to thank each and every one of you who took out some time to attend today's webinar in the Citrix Ready Technical Webinar Series. And this shall conclude our broadcast for today. Thank you very much.